Hey, before we get into the video, guys, just want to let you guys know that my Patreon channel is up and running. Patreon.com/thirdwavetrades. From there, you can pick 3 different levels and tiers. We have something for everybody from beginning traders to traders who've been around for a long time. You'll get access to various educational content as well as my own personal analyses on different stocks and tickers, including Tesla, Nvidia, Neo, Palantir, and many more. So you'll get that before I post any videos on YouTube, telling you how I'm going to play the trade, where I'm going long, where I'm going short, swings, scalps, and day trades. Additionally, guys, you will be able to access a live trading community where we talk about our trades for that day. We go over different earnings plays, we go over different market data and news. We share any plays and setups that we're getting into. We post our wins, our losses, and we just go over everything that we are doing as a trading community. So it's a great help for new traders to be able to share their experiences with other traders who have a little bit more experience. We have a progress chat where we share, like I said, our wins and our losses. And it's not just myself, guys. We have a lot of people in our community are making money. We're doing it from day trades and scalps as well as swing trades. So there's something for everybody, no matter what your style of trading is. Alright, so if you guys are interested, we would love to have you join our community. Go to patreon.com/thirdwavetrades. Find the tier that works for you. Come join us and find the way to financial freedom. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. I apologize, guys, I haven't done a video in a long time, but I wanted to give you guys an update on Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, as I believe now is a very pivotal time for the stock, and we could see a push higher soon, right? So I think it's a great time to potentially go long if you are not long already, and the key, in my opinion, is going to be that 260 to 265 level, right? So we'll get into all of that, but first, guys, before we do, quick disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research, and or consult with a financial advisor before making any trading decisions or investment decisions. Secondly, guys, if you could, please hit the like button if you find the content useful, and please subscribe to the channel if you guys want more Elliott wave breakdowns on your favorite stocks, cryptos, and commodities. Alright, guys, so there's a couple of things that I want to go over. I'm going to keep the video pretty brief, though, because a lot of it is stuff that we've already discussed in the past, but I kind of want to give you guys an update more so on the smaller time frame, right? But just as a quick recap, we can see that this is my overall larger picture count, right? So we're starting back from the lows in January. We have this 1-2 count over here. From the 150 low back in like April, we had this 5-wave count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I told you guys that basically I changed my count a couple weeks ago when I was going back and then I was analyzing it. Before, I was taking this entire move as the top of the intermediate wave 1, but I think I like this this count better, right? Where we take this as the top of wave 1, and then we take this as an expanded flat. So we have a 3-wave move down for A, 3-wave move up for B, and I think we could count this as a 5-wave move down for C. The fib levels all make sense. It checks out, and we found good support right around that 61.8% retracement level, right? So basically, we have our 1, 2, 1, 2, and what we're essentially looking at is price action contained within this larger channel, right? So as long as we're in this channel, I think we are going to go back to the top of this channel. We can also take a look at that from the perspective of a pitchfork, right? So you can see right now the way that I like to use a pitchfork, similar to a channel, but you kind of get this additional breakdown into 4 quadrants. And right now you can see we're trading in this quadrant, and basically this midline, this median line on the pitchfork is what's giving us a lot of resistance. So I think if we can break above this midline, we will basically be off to the races, right? So that is something that I want you guys to be on the lookout for. Now let's zoom in then closer to what we've been doing, right? So let's zoom in a little bit.
there's a couple of different scenarios. This is one scenario, which is basically, I think we have a 1-2-1-2 setup over here, right? So if we are getting ready for this larger third wave move, it's basically winding its way up. Change this to white, right? So again, so we have 1-2-1-2, and possibly what we just did today and yesterday was another 1-2, right? So we could look for a bullish breakout soon out of this channel, and then basically we'll just end up going higher in a sequence of higher highs and higher lows, right? So that's one possible interpretation of this count. Um, the other way we can kind of look at it is, right, we can also take a look, we can interpret it as a kind of just a five wave uh, move forming for our first wave of our third wave, right? So something like this. Basically, we have a 1, 2, 3. This is kind of our fourth wave, which is why it's so choppy right now, right? Forming like maybe some kind of triangle, maybe an expanded or a running flat, and then we go for our fifth wave, and that makes the first of our third in that way, right? And then we end up getting a pullback, right, for the second of our third, and then we really start to take off, right? So both of those scenarios are still on the table right now. So I don't really know which one I'm favoring yet. It really all depends. I think it depends on how we count this. I feel like I could count this in five waves, but if we wanted to, some people might argue this is more of a three-wave move, which is fine, right? And if it is, then we're most likely looking at a leading diagonal. So we have a three-wave up, three-wave down for wave 2, three-wave up for wave 3, three-wave down for wave 4, and then maybe we'll get a three-wave up for wave 5, forming some kind of leading diagonal, right? And then we will get that second wave retracement, and then we'll take off from there, right? So I'm open to both counts right now, and I guess I will just kind of have to see how it plays out, right? Now, besides the Elliott wave count, right, and that interpretation, some other things I wanted to show you guys, right? So again, we could use pitchfork, and we can kind of analyze this move in terms of pitchfork and where we stand right now. So I think over here we're basically at a critical juncture. If we can hold above this, right, I think we're basically going to be trading in this channel until we break out of it, right, to move higher. But besides the pitchfork, what I really want to show you guys is some other methods that we can use. And one of the most common ones is just basic supply and demand, right? So let's zoom in over here, and we'll take a look at it from a daily perspective. Right. So if we go to this daily time frame, and I can show you basically two zones right here that I think are very strong zones, right? So one, we have our supply zone, and one, we have a demand zone down here, right? So you can see when we've come into our demand zone, we've bounced back up, we've come back into our supply zone, and we've pushed back down, right? Today, we actually did not go into the demand zone. We stayed a little bit higher, and we were able to close out strong. So right now, it makes me believe that buyers are in control, right? But we are still kind of like just fighting between these two levels. If we use our fib retracement tool, you can see we're basically closer, right? We're above the 50% level, so we're, in my opinion, in more bullish territory. We're closer to breaking through this supply zone, right? So that's why for me the key level is going to be just above this supply zone, which is right around that 261 level. If we could break the 261 level, I think we can really take off, right? So the main battle is basically happening in this area, right? So this is where buyers and sellers are basically fighting for control. Right now, I think buyers have a little bit of an edge after today's price action, even though in the first half of the day, sellers really pushed it low, buyers came back, and you can see from the way that this candle closed, we, as buyers, we finished stronger, right? So that's basically taking a look at the stock from those two levels, right? From demand zone and supply zone perspective, right? So again, if we can break above the supply zone, right, and close above the supply zone, I think at that point you'll basically get a lot of sellers, like a lot of people who are short, covering their positions, and you will get a lot of buy orders that will fill, and us moving a lot higher, right? It's also a very key pivot point. I think that can see us go to the $300 level, right? So keep that level in mind, $261. And then another thing I wanted to show you guys was basically using the Wyckoff method, right? All right, guys. So if we take a look at this from the perspective of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, we could possibly interpret this as a rising accumulation channel, right? So the idea is, accumulation doesn't have to just be necessarily horizontal, right? It could basically be through an ascending channel or a descending channel as well. Obviously, the stronger and the more bullish a stock is, you'll see that accumulation occurring in an ascending channel. The more bearish a stock is, you will see the accumulation happening in a descending channel, right? So I've kind of like labeled this in terms of the different phases of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic as I believe it's playing out, right? So we had basically our selling climax down here at the $210 area, followed by an automatic rally, secondary test. Let me show that to you guys, right? So we had our selling climax down here, followed by an automatic rally, secondary test, another push up, another secondary test, right? An up thrust kind of move over here, right, to test the strength. Had a little bit of a creek situation forming over here. A hard push down, which came last Friday, which was, I believe, kind of our spring move. We bounced back from it. Secondary test today, and now we're pushing back higher, right? So it's possible that basically throughout this entire process, we've just basically been in an accumulation phase, right? I think that Tesla may be ready to take off, and what's happening is that smart money is basically pushing us down, trying to accumulate more shares, trying to accumulate to their position overall, get retailers and quote unquote dumb money to sell their positions so that they can get in at a better price, right? And then from here, maybe we can have a couple more tests or whatever. But essentially, I think we will eventually start going higher, and we'll see those sign of strength moves followed by last points of support, and then continue to go higher, right? That would basically be our phase E, and or our phase D, right? We could still be in either of these phases, but I believe that the spring move already happened, which was last Friday, and now basically would be a good time to start going long, in my opinion, based off of this, right? So another way we can look at it is if maybe you guys are not sold on the rising accumulation channel, we could also just interpret this entire move as just a reaccumulation as opposed to an accumulation. So and essentially they all kind of like boil down to the same thing, because like Elliott wave, accumulation and reaccumulation, it all occurs like in fractals, right? So what's like a reaccumulation on a smaller degree could be an accumulation in a larger degree, etc., right? So anyway, if we kind of just view this as the move up, basically we had a strong rally. We went through like a reaccumulation phase over here, right? So buying climax, automatic rally, test right here, up thrust move. Here's our creek, and here's our jump across the creek, right? And now we're doing it again, right? So we have our buying climax over here. We have an automatic rally, secondary test, and we could kind of like get this move to basically play out again. This is kind of just an example that I drew out, possibly, right? We can basically just trade within this channel for a little bit as we reaccumulate before we eventually go higher and break resistance, which again is going to be that $261 level, right? So I think that's basically the level that we're looking at. And I think that is the safest entry, right? Obviously, if you're going to buy calls or something like that, premiums are going to be a lot higher at that level. However, I do think it is the safest entry point once we break that level, and we can close and hold above that level to go long from there for the next technical targets, which would be like around $300 in my opinion, right? Um, because anything before that, you'll get a cheaper cost, right, for the premiums on option calls, but there's always the risk that, getting to this level, we're going to come back down and there'll be like another secondary test or whatever the case is, right? So, and you always run into the situation where this might not be an reaccumulation, but it might be a distribution forming over here, and we're going to sell off, right? So according to the Wyckoff method. So I'm kind of just using this as something to lend support to my overall Elliott wave count, right? I use Elliott wave theory for my technical analysis. However, I do look for confirmation in other forms, right, and in other forms of technical analysis. So I'm using this kind of like as confluence, right? I do believe that we're basically just accumulating or reaccumulating at this level, and a break above this resistance is where we will see break above this supply zone is where we'll see a lot of shorts cover, right? Get out of their positions, trigger stop losses, and buy orders get filled as we end up pushing higher, which will lead to that very, very extended third wave move. Now, I will not preface, but I will just give the caveat that there are bearish scenarios even in the wave count. I am a little bit more biased to the bullish thesis myself. However, I am aware of possible bear case scenarios. I'm just not discussing them at the moment because right now I'm more convinced of the bull case scenario. If you guys want to see the bear case scenarios, I will draw those up for you and go over those in a video if you guys want, right? And I think I will do that just so this way you guys are fully aware of what the alternative bear case scenario is, right? But overall, that's basically kind of like what I'm looking at. I think we are pushing higher. I think right now the move that we had last week, that extremely strong move last Tuesday where we pushed higher, I think that is basically that for me was like the signal that we were going to go higher, but I wanted to wait for confirmation. So it's I think that the safest place to get in now would be above $260. All right, so that's kind of my quick video today for you guys on Tesla. I will be doing other videos as well. I've just been extremely busy. If you guys like that video, please do me a favor, leave a like button if you guys like the content, if you find it useful, and please subscribe to the channel if you guys want more Elliott wave breakdowns on your favorite stocks, cryptos, and commodities. And lastly, guys, if you are interested in joining the Patreon, the link is in the description below. We would love to have you guys. We do a lot of different trade setups, long trade setups, as well as day trading and scalping if that's what you guys are interested in, as well as there's a lot of educational content on different forms of technical analysis that I personally teach, right? Yeah, you can just find the link down there in the description. All right, I'll be back with more video, guys. Peace.